when I look at your project, we do look very specifically at what I call conscious strategies, and we have all the sustainability strategies like LEAD and Living Building Challenge and well building, and some others. So we look at all that, and those are great. They're sophisticated. They're very specific. You know, we can score and check boxes. Do we include this or not? How much of this do we include? And that's really important, of course. But we also look at it. I mentioned in my notes that we look at the Eastern in an Eastern methodology of Feng Shui, which is really a way of looking at our space from a practical point of view, from a practical point of view to a spiritual point of view, and everything in between, you know, basically. So Feng Shui is telling us a lot of things, like where we might position things and what we would have in a building and why, orientation and and adjacencies. You could look at Feng Shui from the point of view of, say, spiritually, and say, well, there's some meaning that's very deep, or maybe it's a very deep sort of psychological set of issues. But it's also very practical. I always like the one that says, you know, in the house, never put a bathroom over the entrance hall, because, you know, the sound of a flushing toilet as you walk in the house, right? So that's like, you don't do that. The other one, which we look at, and we looked at it for one house in particular, is Vastu. Vastu is an older version, similar idea. Vastu is the Indian version of what the Asian Feng Shui is. And Vastu looks at things like, where is heat? So I'll use a house as an example because that's the most recent where we used it. Where is fire in a house? Where is water in a house? How does air work through a house? You can take these things and you can use it for different building types, of course. But again, we try to say, okay, there are practical sets of criteria like LEAD, but there are also more intuitive aspects like Feng Shui.